Okay, so huddle's over, everything. Before we get started, we're actually going to go get the feathers because I also have to finish or at least work on Hope's piece. So we're going to get out of the house because it was a very rough day for all parties involved yesterday. Yesterday was a tough one, and I did not get to sleep until very late because of the knot, which is tender. As it turns out, still tender, but much smaller. So here we go.
So we're looking fly as fuck. I'm going as a gray goblin. Mama is going as a spring sprite. Looking absolutely adorable. I never knew that olive green and mustard orange worked so well together, but I'm gonna have to do that somewhere else. It's so cute. But where are we going, Mother?
We are going to Temptation. We're going to Hobby Lobby for feathers.
Hobby Lobby for feathers and feathers alone.
Yes, feathers alone.
Because you have crown to work on, and I have things to work out.
Yep.
Triggering night, but it's one of those things that I'm very grateful when I'm aware. Spirit gives me a test because I am so, I don't want to say hyper focused on my spirit and when they come in, but
I just feel like it was a matter of being present last night.
Exactly. I was present in the moment, and I was present in a red flag situation, and now
and more importantly, you were present in the actions, not just the emotion, because in a moment like that, emotion can very easily, you can get carried away with yourself, and being present and logical, and then having the clarity of mind to say, hey, I don't know if I need to talk about this, but I think I might not be okay.
Yeah, it was one of those things that really exercising the throat chakra, it was very important to share, and I'm very grateful that I had a safe space to share. And one thing that I am grateful for is that how I was tempered to not act or cast in that same emotion. I'm giving myself a day. I'm giving myself time. I journaled about it this morning because I was too tired to journal about it last night. And we're going out and doing this, and I'm getting a chance to walk away and gonna come back to it with fresh energy.
Exactly, stepping out of that energy.
And mind to actually enact the protections that I'm going to be putting on myself.
Because it's a new moon in Pisces, and this is literally such a release. I mean, new moons already have that banishing energy.
I'm coming off of my period too, so
you're already doing a purge of sorts. And this particular new moon in Pisces, it's about those things, those fears that are holding you captive. And I find it poignant that that was the experience you had at work. I'm sitting here throwing myself off of the bed on Yeet Force 1, being super dramatic in a gravity test gone wrong. And you are taking life's test in your own Aswupan. And I feel like it was surprisingly potent for both of us.
Aye. And when you practice presence like this and being aware of not just what's going on in your environment, but energy and intentions behind them, it can be very exhausting because you have to have an extra focus, sort of. But it also, it's like catching trauma and in real time. You have the ability then to alchemize it before it seeps into you as something you have to then dig up later. If you want to consider trauma like a, I like to think of it like a splinter.
I suppose that's fair.
And if it's like, if it's a bad splinter and just underneath the skin, there's a lot of people that sometimes we'll just overlook it, but then it's going to grow in, and all that skin is going to grow on top of it. And then you have to dig it out and hurt yourself more bringing it back out. And that has to heal, and it will take longer to heal, and it will scar. But practicing more presence,
so you can yoink it out of your finger in real time.
It doesn't make it easier to deal with, I won't say that, but there is an inherent strength to being able to grit and bear it in the moment, to not allow that to seep further into yourself.
I think that, I mean, especially for women, but we're working on breaking certain generational curses that have been put upon women in general, but our specific family line.
Aye. We are curse breakers.
You recognized in real time how you were taking an action that differed from your mother's mother, and generations before, where you said, hold the up. Is somebody trying to take my power? And like I said, that visual, I knew something was going on. And when I had that like vision while we were like talking about it, and all of those eyes just lit up, and it was like a dozen ancestors came and said, bet. Bet.
Yeah.
It's incredibly inspiring sometimes to watch other people alchemize in real time. It is even more so inspiring that you're recognizing it for a value and not dismissing it. There's so many girls who would have come home from what you experienced and been like, I'm sure I'm reading too much into it. I'm sure that's not what it was. No, you came home and said, I think I'm not okay.
And that's what I was starting to do. Like, I know you fucking clocked that something was wrong.
Seriously, you don't fucking try and hide shit from me.
And
I clock energy, man.
And I was sitting there, and I was like rationalizing like that. It's just it's part of the job, being in that environment. It's who they are, sort of. It's their culture, yada yada. They don't actually mean anything by it. They were seeing, they were testing, they yada yada.
Testing boundaries, testing
my reaction to things and offers and then other stuff. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in being in that environment. And after allowing myself to talk about it and taking away the feeling of shame that I had for feeling angry, because there was that too. There was a feeling of like, why am not even so much why am I allowing that, but why am I so angry when it's just, it is what it is?
Why am I letting this get to me so much? Like,
no.
I kind of get the feeling of what you're trying to express. Like, it's not a sign of weakness, though.
No, it was the shame of wanting to retaliate. Was what it was. That's what I want. That's what I needed.
Shadow self-shame.
Shadow
talking about
self-shame.
that. Okay.
That was it.
I couldn't figure out what that shadow self-shame.
That's what it was. It was the shame in my light aspects of wanting to fight back, wanting to retaliate. And then I mentioned a snake in the grass, and then you mentioned Brandon literally had seen a venomous snake on his path, and I'm like, oh, so there's literally.
And then I mentioned Medusa.
She is one I need to give more focus to. I realized I have an altar piece to her in my room too. So there are those ready to strike, and I just need to clear myself so that I move with intention and not out of emotion.
Exactly. And that's what we should all do.
Absolutely.
I'm very proud of you, though.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you very much.